Hey y'all, welcome to another week of Daily Devos, and I am excited to dig back in with you again. Got all my notes ready to go. All right, so Friday, I feel like time just got away so fast, and I had to stop a little bit short of what I wanted to pull out of that story of Jesus crossing the sea to the Gadarenes, and then the freedom of the demoniac. So I want to, yeah, there's too many directions. I want to go back to the last thing that we read from Mark chapter 5, in that where the demoniac, who has now been made whole, and he comes to Jesus. We're in Mark chapter 5 and verse 18. So verse 17, the people ask Jesus to leave. They ask him to leave and be gone. And verse 18, it says, and when he had stepped into the boat, so Jesus is now going back to the other side from where he had just come. He stepped into the boat, and the man who had been controlled by the unclean spirits kept begging him that he might be with him. But Jesus refused to permit him, but said to him, go home to your own family, friends, and relatives, and bring back word to them of how much the Lord has done for you, and how he has had sympathy for you and mercy on you. And he departed and began to publicly proclaim in Decapolis, the region of 10 cities, we did talk about that, the region of 10 cities, how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were astonished and marveled. Now, remember that in the process of Jesus casting out the unclean spirits, in verse 10, it says, and he kept begging Jesus, urgently not to send himself and the other demons out of the region. Remember, they did not want to give up that territory. They controlled that territory, well, through the demoniac up until that point in time, in fear, kept them in fear that people wouldn't travel. They knew not to go by there, so they held that region captive. And so they begged him not to send him out of the region, send him in the hogs. Okay. But I think this is an interesting note, that for this man whose life Jesus had absolutely just restored and turned around, Jesus didn't permit him to come with him, but he said, you go back home and you tell your friends, your family, your relatives, exactly what the Lord has done for you. And it says again, he departed and he began to publicly proclaim in that region, 10 cities, publicly proclaim in that region what Jesus had done for him. And that's where we are, I think. We need to remember, need to think about that, though we have not been permitted to go with Jesus yet. We're still here living on this earth, but there is purpose for us here, and it is to proclaim publicly what Jesus Christ has done for us. And you look at this man at this point in time, it wasn't that Jesus had died on the cross and redeemed him from sin, but that the Lord had absolutely restored his sanity, that he had restored his wholeness, his soundness of mind, restored him back to his family. And there are things that the Lord has done in my life. There are things that the Lord has done in your life that we need to begin to publicly proclaim in the cities, so that other people can know the goodness of our God. And if you can't think of anything off the top of your head of, well, the Lord did this in my life, you now on this side of the cross, well, have the cross to look back on and say, that's what he did for me. I don't have to live like I used to live. I'm not bound. I have hope. And you know what? We're in a world right now that is looking for hope. Share that hope. What is your hope? What keeps you going? You know, we have this hope as an anchor for our soul, sure and steadfast, that it cannot break down under the weight of whoever steps out upon it. That's Hebrews 4:16 if you want to go take a look at that. But we're out of time today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.